Okay, so we continue from where we stopped. We're still looking at the branches of philosophy, and then after finishing the branches of philosophy, we'll go into looking at the schools of philosophy. We looked at the first branch of philosophy called metaphysics. I'm sure we still remember. And how metaphysics affects our way of looking at things as teachers or the little ones. How metaphysics helps us to understand the children better, and how metaphysics helps us to handle issues related to early childhood education management. We also looked at epistemology, which talks about the love of wisdom, or the study of knowledge, right? Yeah, and it stresses on the points of knowledge about reality. The knowledge about the truth about reality. So, today we continue to look at a third branch called logic. We talked about logic, right? We stopped on? Ethics. All right. Beautiful. So logic, we also looked at logic being a science that treats the operations of the human mind in its search for the truth. It is an act of reasoning, and it directs the operations of the mind in the attainment of truth. So when somebody is being attributed to as a logician, then we know that that person does things in an orderly way. Things in an orderly way, right? All right. So basically, logic studies the methods and principles used to distinguish good or correct from the bad or incorrect. All right. So, what do you say about ethics? And the fourth branch. Ethics. Have we ever heard of the word ethics? Ethics. This person has good ethics. Behavior. Okay? You get that one? Yes. So ethics deals with morality. Ethics deals with the way of behaving. And so we are talking about looking at the good ways of behaving and looking at the bad ways or behaving. We need to differentiate, we need to identify which one is good behavior, which one is bad behavior, which one is good morality, which one is bad morality. The other way we would understand the word, the term, or we would refer to the term of ethics would be moral education. In philosophy, ethics can as well be called moral philosophy. All right? So some scholars refer to ethics as the practical aspects of philosophy. The practical aspect of philosophy, because it studies the morality of human acts through the medium of natural reason. Through the medium of natural reason. Okay? So, looking at the word ethics, from the etymological point of view, it is derived from the Greek word ethos. It is derived from a Greek word ethos. Ethos. Which means custom or practice. It is derived from a Greek word ethos, which means a custom or practice, a characteristic manner of doing things. Or a characteristic manner of acting. That is the meaning of ethos, ethics. It is derived from the Greek word ethos, which means custom or practice or a characteristic manner of doing things or a characteristic manner of acting. So ethics is also defined as a practical science that investigates the existence, the basis, and the concept of morality. Yes? Coming. It is defined as a practical science investigating the existence, the basis, and the concept of morality. Ethics is defined as a practical science that investigates the existence, a practical science that investigates the existence or the basis and concept of morality. A practical science that investigates the existence, the basis, and the concept of morality. That investigates the concept, the existence and the basis and concept of morality. So we're looking at why should there be issues or morality? Why should we talk about the issues of how to behave in society? What should be the basis of a good character and what should be the basis of bad character? What is it that we call good and what is it that we call bad? And this comes in according to different cultures and norms as to how we define and how we explain what is good and what is bad. And that is why sometimes you will find that you go to a certain cultural group, ethnic group or society, this action is good. I go to another society, this action is bad. Are we together? So it depends now what we call good in this cultural group or ethnic group, what we call good in this ethnic group. So this is most likely to differ because of the way different societies understand the concept of ethics. You can go to America. The rules on the road in America may not be the same as the rules when you are driving in Malawi. Others use the left side, And then others is the right hand. Keep left, others keep right. Okay? So the whole concept of ethics needs to be understood, where rules sometimes are made by different societies, and in this case we will talk about maybe rules being made by a particular school, okay? And these rules may not necessarily be the same as that school. Why talk about the issues of morality? Why talk about the concept of morality? We are dealing with the children, or we will be dealing with the kids, right? So how is this branch of philosophy called ethics connected to early childhood education as a foundation course? How is it connected? Who can think with me? Ethics, we're talking about the way of behaving. And so there are good ways of behaving, there are bad ways of behaving. Why are we talking about issues of good ways of behaving, bad ways of behaving to the learners? Why should we have this knowledge as the to-be teachers or teachers in the making? We need to have a general understanding of how a child behaves in the most likely sense. So we are assuming the behavior of children is different according to their background, and we must have that in mind that they're coming from parents who have got their own characters. And if you may remember very well, John Locke, one of the great philosophers, said, the environment in which I grow up determines my future character. Do you still remember that? Every child is born a tabula rasa. Every child is born an empty slate. Every child is born like completely empty without any knowledge. So the knowledge that is going to be learned, acquired by that child, will be dependent upon the environment. And in this case, we are talking about morality, behavior, which is good, which is bad. So first we need to understand the good morals and the bad morals, and what is it that we can infiltrate into this child as teachers. Do we want the children to acquire bad skill, bad knowledge? Do we want to impart in these learners good morals? Bearing in mind why early childhood education came into being. For you look at the history of early childhood education, how did it begin here in Malawi? It only took the effort of one woman to initiate that in Blantyre, right? Looking at how children were being underrated and undermined and mistreated. There were issues of discrimination based on albinism. If a child is born with albinism, then it's considered to be less human, right? If a child is born in my family, in most cases, that child was being used to help the parents to gain ends meet for the day. So a child is 7, 8 years, we already start like depending on the child to put the bigger load on the child so that that particular child would help in bringing food on the table for the family. And so go and sell vegetables at the market, which is against the rights of the child. Contained in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights for Children. Okay? So, in order to give that environment for the kids, the foundational education had to be initiated here in Malawi. Issues of sacrificing the albinos so that others would become rich is not something that is new to everyone here, right? Those ritualistic beliefs, issues for children being left as orphans because parents have died of HIV and AIDS. And in those days it was very high. The rates for HIV and AIDS were very high. How do we take care of the child, the pride of the child? This is why even up to now we are seeing many colleges and universities coming up with the program of early childhood education, a diploma, certificate, diploma, degree. Looking forward for more master's and PhD programs here in our country, so that we don't go out there to look for the knowledge that we can acquire and impart to our own children, our own people that can be of help to the children that are still suffering. Why do we still have got our country being on the list of the developed countries? The foundation matters. Morality imparted to the child is richness for the future. The way we think at this particular moment that we are as adults is dependent on our past. The way we have grown up looking at things, the way we have grown up understanding things. So the past determines our future. And so the whole concept of ethics, the way of behaving, the rightness, the wrongness of doing things or acting. Now, if we implant it into the children of nowadays, of today, it's going to impact their own lives tomorrow and the lives of the whole community, society, nation, and the globe at large. Who we raise now will be dependent upon the character that we implant in them today. Is that making sense? Who I am today is because of the product of the people I have interacted with, right? Show me who my friends are. I mean, who your friends are, yeah? And I will tell you who you are. Ever heard that saying? If you tell me or show me who your friends are, I'll be able to know who you are. Right? What does that mean? If we connect this saying to early childhood education and us as teachers, if we who have got the right knowledge of teaching the children about the goodness and badness of behavior or character, and we associate ourselves with these children, then there will be a high likelihood that these children are going to behave the way we are behaving. True or false? The environment is what molds us to what we are today. Somebody might argue to say, Doc, why is it that in most cases, children of pastors, how do they normally behave? The perspective that we have always had. Missed cause, right? The behavior in most cases does go the opposite direction. Why? The environment in which we grow up, environment. Now we're talking about the real home environment and not the outside church environment, right? What is it that the pastor does at home? What kind of behavior do they display at home is what will be depicted in the behavior of the children. You get that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you give a question mark to the behavior of this man and to his children at home. Not the face that is shown on the pulpit. No. Right? Mm.
Could you ask that question? Question the pastor's daughter.
Say what? Where is she? What do you think, Adele? Could you give us a practical example or testimony?
What was the question?
It wasn't a question, just an explanation. That in most cases, my environment affects my behavior. Okay? And so I was saying, if you look at the behavior of most children of pastors, it goes in most cases the other way. From the way we know a pastor's child is supposed to behave, right? Or a man of God's child is supposed to behave. And so I was saying that if it is like that, then it implies that there is a certain character that the man of God shows when he is at home, different from when he is on the pulpit. Because it is what the familiarity of, a certain kind of behavior that I get close to that is going to affect my way of doing things, my way of acting. That is where we are now. I may show a very good face outside, but here I'm a lion, here I'm careless, here I don't mind, So we take that example into the learners. Where we have a challenge on the children's character is that they are coming from home. From their parents' homes, with their own character, and they're being brought to us. Remember I said we are the doctors, we are the nurses to these children. So when the parents bring them to us, they assume, they have all the hope and trust that we are going to do the right job. And in most cases, 3/4 of the time, the children are with us, right? They just go home, maybe just 2 hours, it's late. They have to eat, they have to watch a little bit or work on their homework, assignments, and they sleep. Tomorrow again, they are brought to us by their parents. And so we have all the time to impact upon the character of these children. Hence, this philosophical branch being very important to us as teachers. Under ethics, it starts with me as a teacher to have the virtue of understanding. When a child is brought to me, crying, the parents leave the child. The child should be able to stop crying within a few minutes, right? When the parents are gone. Why? I have the skill of how to. Do you know that song of Baby Calm Down? The baby has to be able to do what? To calm down. Why? Because I have the right skill to make the baby calm down. The way we have to make children behave at the younger age, already we need to put up rules according to the age of the children. In class, don't do this. When you do this, we are going to effect a positive reinforcement on you. You punish reasonably. Punishment is not allowed, right? Is it allowed or not? It's allowed. But nowadays we have removed the word punishment into positive reinforcement. If I find you as the father of my child and you are doing some kind of punishment on my child, what do you think? Especially in private schools, it would be a big issue. And that is why nowadays you cannot send a child anyhow outside the class. No. Teach the child good manners whilst in class. Because when you send me out of the classroom, you know what? My mind is still scattered. So immediately I start looking at something, a bed there, you think you are punishing me. You're just making my behavior to be worse. Because I start playing outside there and enjoy the environment outside. And that is why many people have come up with a lot of ways of how to deal with the young. If you go to most primary schools, they will tell you, you're going to find such situations like you have to punish, you have to correct, not punish. Correct the behavior, not punish. Okay? A child is standing like this in class, behind there, so that you don't disturb your friends, right? But am I concentrating? You will see the child there. And you say the child has to be inside so that the child cannot lose the points being told by the teacher. I am not concentrating, man. So we need to look for best ways of how to correct the character or the wrongdoing of the child. Best way. You know, the best way brings best results. If I take you as my child student and I have to show you that I am punishing you now. You have to know that I am in charge here. What happens in your mind? What you are creating is some kind of uneasiness. What your brain is creating. Uneasiness when you look at me. You know? This man. It's like I give you an assignment. You fail, I come and shout and shout and shout. What kind of a student are you? Failure. What were you thinking when you were writing there? You know, that voice will be ringing in your mind, and whenever you look at me, yes, hey, that man has come again. Like when you look at me, you feel like I'm going to shout at you again, right? When you look at me, you see failure, right? Like in yourself. There is a better way to make the children understand that they are better. The positive enforcement that we talk about on the character of children is carry them on, accompany them. The principle of accompaniment changes morality of the kids. It's like a girl child who has adopted a strange character from fellow friends, right? And then when the mother or father discovers that, they become very vicious, like keeping a whip a rod behind the door every day. Is it going to help the girl understand I'm doing wrong? Others are going to tell you frankly to say, oh, so you think that you are the one who knows how to speak, right? Who knows how to give advice, you know. Why? Because I am forcing myself too much into controlling this girl who thinks in her own being is an adult. Yeah? There are certain times that even myself may think that I don't need any advice from anybody, right? But is it true? No. We still need a mentor, like someone to accompany us in terms of character, molding behavior. And so that girl needs to be approached with love. How? How? It's like Wendy is always on the phone, right? When she's home, she washes one plate, she puts it there, and then busy on the phone. Texting. Who are you texting, my girl? The boyfriend, right? Too busy enjoying life, right? What should a good mother do? Should the first thing be shouting at her? Useless girl! Hey! You are getting bad behaviors from your friends and the like. How I wish I did not give birth to you. Is that going to help? My sweet daughter, come here. Make her a little bit busy, okay? To get closer to you, maybe you were distant from her. Make her realize that you love her. Take her out for pizza, for an ice cream, you know. Show her that you love her. The more we get closer to each other, the more one day you are going to open up who your boyfriend is. There are such girls who have told their mothers, who have asked their mothers advice on the ideal man, you know. There are such boys, elderly indeed, who have approached their fathers or mothers on what kind of a girl should I marry? Like, you know, there is what? That closeness. There is no fear to come out. You build character from that. Once you know that my parents love me, my parents understand me. And so it will not be difficult for me to bring my boyfriend, my girlfriend home, right? Why? Because I know that my parents are going to understand me. They trust me. So all we need to do is to create an atmosphere of love and trust to these little angels. So that when they see us, you know, coming from home, if we find them in school, they have to run after us. Teacher Mary, teacher, all the hugs all over to you, Teacher Mary, Teacher Banda. Why? There is chemistry between Me and my children, my learners. What we have to know is that for us to impact the life of the character of the little one is very difficult, but very easy. Right? Only if we accept our vocation. This is a calling to deal with the little ones now. It's a calling. And so if we take it that it's just a job that I'll go get money, I'll become rich, I'm going to NGOs, it's a calling. We will need to change, perfect somebody's character, even though it's not possible to be perfect. But we are on the journey of trying to perfect somebody's character. That when they grow up, they will say, that one was my teacher. Good teacher. Not bad teacher. No. You know the character that we are coming up with in terms of the ethics, morality. A child that is going to tomorrow say, that was my teacher, and this child is now a director, a manager, a big boy or big girl. Who will stop and say, my teacher, here is something for lunch. Get me correct, we are not teaching so that they can, give us something for lunch. No. But what you plant today is what you reap. The reaping might not be for your benefit in this issue. The reaping should be good character for this child who will be an adult to create a better society. Because the character that I impart today and implant today will affect tomorrow's society. Am I planting a character of thieves, prostitutes, lazy people? Now, it starts now with us. So if we do not inculcate the right knowledge to you now as lecturers, then you are going to spoil the learners out there. Wait again. If you go to some other boarding houses where students are just staying like free range, there's no control of the parents and or I take myself as an adult. Yeah? The desire of every youth is leave me alone. You get the point? Leave me alone, I have to enjoy life before I get into marriage, before I have all these responsibilities, Yeah. But at the back of the mind, there is always that thing. But what I'm doing is wrong, But if mom and dad found me here, it wouldn't go well. You understand, right? But I am feeling good to do it because of the way I have grown up. It's different to grow up, have a character that is a little bit hiding and a genuine character. There is a character that is there because you are controlling me, you are threatening me. If you don't do this, I'm not going to pay school fees for you, right? And so I will behave so that for the sake of the school fees. But there's another character which is genuine, where whether fees or no school fees being guaranteed, I will behave well. Why? The character of my parents. And we are saying we are now replacing the parents because much of the times the kids are with us in school. So we are going to say the character of my teacher is what has made me to be where I am today. Yeah, it's possible that some people learn it in a hard way. Some children, boys and girls, learn it in a hard way. After realizing and then with their own personal effort, they do what? Correct their own life path. Yeah, that is possible. We are not disputing that. But we are saying we have a great role on the aspect of morality to change or help the child to live a good life in future. Any questions? Before we start looking at the schools of philosophy. Schools of philosophy. Any questions, contributions? Kodesh? How are you? You have any question? No? No, yes. In the eye. I in the. Let us look at the first branch, the first school or philosophy called idealism. Has anyone heard about idealism before? What does it mean? What does it imply? Idealism. Now, I want to ask you to open your brain. I know with ethics you had opened your heart, right? Now let's open our brains. There have been people, philosophers, that have believed to say nothing exists independent of the mind. I exist because I am a thinking being, because I am a rational being. I think, therefore I am. Do we follow that one? Does it make sense? I think, therefore I am. Meaning that if I am not thinking, I am dead. I'm not a human. Why? Because being human is being rational. Being human is being a thinking being, a reasoning being. If I do not reason, I am a mere animal. I want people to challenge in ways to say, but Doc, you are saying, if I do not think or reason, then I am a mere animal. How do you know that animals do not think? I love the challenge. Because unless I have been an animal, if I've been a pig or a goat or a cow, I will describe and explain properly the cow world, the goat world, the pig world, the dog world. Is it really true that animals do not think? One day, a few weeks ago, I just knocked off from work and Reaching home, there are about 4 dogs. And the other 2 are normally like, they are antisocial. And the other one we normally play around and, you know. So when I entered the gate, the other one was coming in like jumping on me, and so I was playing with it. The other one was seeming to be like, not very sure. It comes closer, and then when I try to caress it, it runs away. I said, oh, you? No, not very close to my head. You know what happened? The other one, who was not very friendly, started barking at me, like a kind of unfriendly bark, which was kind of intended to attack. And then the friend of my dog went to fight the other dog seriously until I had to go, stop it. So I know my friend was like, you don't understand what this guy is about to do to you, right? As I was going, it came again, the friend came, and the other one started still barking in a serious voice. The other dog attacked again. And then I was just laughing. Somebody's going to say this friend or a dog of mine is using emotions? Do we use emotions to think? Would it be right for you to argue with me to say you cannot conclude or claim that? You can claim, but you cannot conclude to say that dogs or animals do not think. Not until you become a dog yourself. What about that? Because as a scientist, we only do things at the level of being human that I am. In my own realm of understanding things, right? Okay. What's your name? Benson. Bison. Okay, Bison. Do you know God? You've never seen him. You go to church? Very good. I will draw the question you have, but don't worry. Can you draw God? Okay. It's an exam now, right? Draw the image of God. Start drawing now. Start. In an expression form. Draw God. How does he look? Does he have a big head? Or how does he look like? Just feel free. It's nothing big. Wisdom, the wise man we are left with on earth. How, if it was an exam, can you express how God looks like? How would you describe it? Can you describe it? What kind of hair does he have? Is it like your hair?
God doesn't exist.
He doesn't exist.
It's a spiritual thing, so how can you see it?
So if he is a spiritual being, then he does not exist. Why are we saying God? If you say God, you are already affirming that something is there called God.
Yes, it's there, but it's a spiritual thing.
So that spiritual thing exists, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you now. Yes? We want to describe that spiritual thing. That is what we have always said, that God looks like us. And that's why we say we are created in the image of. So that's why I'm asking to say, can you draw God?
I will draw myself.
Yeah. Or you are going to draw something which is more perfect than you, right?
Yeah.
So we have seen the image of God in magazines, right? This is how God looks like.
God made Jesus. I've never seen him in the movie.
You have never.
Yes, God.
Okay.
You know what I mean, Jesus?
Only Jesus, right? Okay. So let's take the example of Jesus. If you want to draw Jesus now, how does he look? Very long hair, very long, and very well, I don't know, like he's just fresh from the salon, right? Beautiful looking, like, the beautiful beards, and the way you are going to put his vestments, very expensive. We are trying to beat the what? The club. We are trying to create something that is more perfect than us. That's how we would describe God. He is perfect, He is all knowing, He is all loving, He is all. The all attributes are the ones which are put in there to express the infinitum, the infiniteness. He does not come to an end. He is always there. Right? Is it possible for something to always be there and not to have a beginning and not to have the end? Is that possible? Yeah. No. In our thinking, right? That's where the issue of idealism comes in. We keep speculating, perceiving things, but we are not sure yet what life is really all about. We are never sure. And that is why. Hi. Hello. That is why when some people stand somewhere and start preaching, they will tell you, very soon he's coming, very soon. Change your ways of doing things. They will live, they will die. Another one is born today. He grows up and stands again. Very soon he will come. Very prepare your ways. They die. Another one is very soon. How soon is soon? The best thing is, let's just have. Let's live our lives better. It ends there. I live my life right. I live at peace with people. I'm okay. Right? Okay, so when we talk about idealism, this is a philosophy that is splitting or coming in from a philosopher called Plato. Plato, I was just going to see our minds, not to divert anybody's belief or faith in anything. Idealism is a philosophical approach that has its central tenet that ideas are the only true reality. You get that? Ideas are the only true reality. This is very interesting. I love this philosophy very much. Anything that exists is an idea, if it is to be real. So you are an idea, you are an idea, you are an idea, you are an idea. An idea is a thought, right? About something. Are we thoughts? Yeah. Very beautiful. Ideas are the only true reality, the only thing worth knowing. In a search for truth, beauty, and justice that is enduring and everlasting, the focus is on conscious reasoning in the mind. So when I invoke the mind, yeah, it's real. Plato believed that the only true reality is an idea. He is believed to be the father of idealism, Plato. And he lived about 400 years ago. He has written a very powerful book called The Republic. So Plato believed that there are two worlds. This is idealism, right? There are two worlds for man. The first, excuse me. And this world is eternal. There are two what? Worlds. The first is the spiritual or mental world. And this spiritual or mental world is eternal. We understand the word eternity, right? It's permanent, right? It does not come to an end, right? And it is orderly, it is regular, and it is universal. There is also another world, the second world, which we call the world of appearance, the physical world. This is the world of experience, the world of sight, the world of touch, the world of smell, the world of taste, and the world of sound. This world is a changing one, an imperfect one, which is disorderly. Are we getting the two worlds? Yeah. The other world is the mental and spiritual, and the other world is the physical one. The mental spiritual is permanent, unchanging, orderly. The second world is changing, imperfect, disorderly. Okay? All right. So this division is often referred to as the principle of duality. I said you borrow me your break now. Okay. dualism implies what? Dual is equal to mono is equal to 1 and dual is equal to 2. Alright, 2. So this division is often referred to as the duality or mind and body. The duality is coming in because of what? Mind plus body. Now, how does Plato understand this principle of duality? Mind plus body. He can explain. In his allegory of the calf, have we ever come across the theory of the allegory of the calf? No? Kodesh? Cody. Theory of the allegory of the calf? We are all hard studying here, right? Hello? And as we are studying in a line like this, we assume we are in a cave. Right? And our hands are kind of in chains like this, right? We are all facing this direction, right? And behind us there is a little opening, corridor. We are like this. This is how we have been since we came into being. Since we came into life, right? Alright. When things are moving behind us, because there is an opening, a door, what happens? When something crosses, we see the reflection on the wall. One day, I was very curious and started thinking. One man started thinking one day in the cave and asked the friend, he said, but is this life that we are living here real? Can we try to untie ourselves and so that we see what next? I don't believe what we are seeing there is reality. Maybe there's another life. Huh? That is more real than what we are here. So when he asked the neighbor refused. Asking the neighbor refused. What did he do? He took it upon himself to try to untie the chains. It was very easy. He was free. And then he asked again the friends, hey friends, look, I am free. I can help you now, I'm free. They said, didn't you hear us? Didn't you hear us? Please, you are on your own, whatever happens. So the guy just went, turned, and went outside through the door. It was open. Ever open, that's why they were able to see what? The reflections. When he went out there, because it was sunny, and so he had the dim lines, he couldn't see properly, right? The refraction of the light. And then as he continued to get used to the environment, new environment, he started seeing like cloudy things until later on the eyes were set to see what was outside. He saw human beings passing. Okay? He saw animals passing. These are the things I've seen. Passing. He saw trees shaking like. it that all this long we have been in that cave? We have been missing the whole point. We have been living a lie. The theory of the allegory of the cave of Plato. Ladies and gentlemen, in the education circles, this theory implies that there will be many of us, right? A lot of us here who will be in the chains of ignorance. The people who are in the cave are ignorant. And you know when one is ignorant, they claim to know the Lord, right? Okay. And it's difficult for such people to come out of their ignorance. Why? Because they think, they feel, I know. Okay? Ndipita kusukulu ine ndikola ndikapanga zilikacha atu ndikalime ndalama yose ada spending 1 million for school, right? The time that you're going to spend here 4 years, how much will you have wasted, or your parents? Because every day you have to use internet, every day you have to use to eat, buy food, every day you have to do this and that. If there are people coming from home, body, transport every day, school fees every day, assignments, printing. If you do print bundles, if you send banner online, the ignorant person chooses not to know. But there was only one courageous man with curiosity said, let me try to untie myself so that I may find out whether this is real or there's something more real outside there. Are you getting the sense? Knowledge does not just come when you are sitting down or dormant. It needs you to take a step. Others will discourage you. Others will want to fight against you for the step that you have taken. It's not that easy. But to acquire the right knowledge, you need to take a step. You need to struggle. But with focus, you are going to untie yourself. The process of untying thyself or oneself is a process of self-discovery, a process of venturing into different courses. For example, early childhood education, so that you can acquire the needed knowledge. The guy knew that what he lived for many years was a lie in the cave, according to the theory of the allegory of the cave of Plato. I lived a lie all my life, but now, because of the efforts I have made, I have known the truth. And so this is why we are saying that reacting against what he, Plato, perceived as too much of a focus on the immediacy of the physical and sensory world, he described a utopian society in which education to body and soul all the beauty and perfection of which they are capable as an ideal world. Both the mind and the body must work together in order for us to call this an ideal world. when we are here on earth, right? In his allegory of the cave, the shadows of the sensory world must be overcome with the light of reason. When I am in this cave, I am seeing shadows there. Passing, right? Passing. The real things are passing behind me. So, how do I overcome the illusions, the shadows that I'm seeing there? Through the power of the mind. Through the power of reason. I may have 1 degree today, and another might have 4 degrees today. But what is important is what I do with that degree, right? That's what is going to put me on the map. Together. You and me might go on the same panel to be interviewed. But if I do not have the right stuff, I'll be left out, and the diploma student or degree student will be picked. Candidate will be picked. Why? What you give out. Right stuff. Okay, so to understand the truth, one must pursue knowledge and identify it with the absolute mind. To understand the child according to idealism, you have to go beyond the person. And so we are now relating idealism to metaphysics, if you remember the other branch of philosophy, metaphysics. The study of the ultimate principles of reality. Ultimate. You think outside the box. You go beyond what you can see. And that's what we're saying. To understand truth, one must pursue knowledge and identify with the absolute mind. What is the absolute mind? The complete mind. What is the complete mind? The final mind. So Plato also believed that the soul is fully formed prior to birth and is perfect and at one with the universal being. Idealism. That's why the craziness comes in. The soul first appeared before the body, right? Do we agree with that? So the birth process checks this perfection. The soul in its original state is existing with the universal being. Are we thinking in the act of the universal being? The universal being is that which is complete, which is perfect, which does not need anything outside itself to complete itself. Are you getting me? He is saying we have the soul and the body. When they're together, it's called dualism. Mind and body. And he is also saying that he believed that the soul pre-existed. And pre-existence in this case means that it existed before the body. And its pre-existing before the body also implies in his understanding that it coexisted with the finite being the supreme being, the universal being, the perfect being, the complete being. Are you following the thinking? Cody? Is somebody following me? Have you borrowed me your mind, your brain? Are you getting what I'm saying? Who is the supreme being that is referred to here in our other understanding? In the Christian circles, that supreme being, we call him G-O-D. Okay? And this is what we are saying, that according to him, this is the supreme being. And the attributes of this supreme being are that he is complete in himself, he is infinite, implying an ending, he is perfect. Right? Please now. Okay. He is infinite. He is perfect. He is complete. He is superhuman. Okay? Now, Plato is simply saying that the soul pre-existed before, meaning it existed before the body. Where was it? It was with the supreme being. Are we together? And this is where this last part I say, Plato believes in the world of ideas. Hello? This is why we are connecting now. There is a world of forms. The world of forms. Do we know forms? Forms. When heavy rains are about to fall, right? Sometimes we have, there are instances, is it June or we have some foggy kind of, right? Fog. Yeah, forms. Like that. There is a world of forms. Now, in this world of forms, the supreme being and us, the lesser beings, are moving in a circle like this. Are we together? They are moving in a circle like that. It's a continuous motion. Okay? It's moving in a constant motion. It's enjoying itself with that bliss. Huh? There is a very beautiful atmosphere where we are moving. Your idea is enjoying itself. Hey, very beautiful. I love it now. Very beautiful. And this continuous cycle of movement keeps on. There is a continuous cycle of movement. The idea is enjoying itself. And now somebody asks the question, what happened for that idea to leave the world of ideas and be found on earth? There was an accident now. Accidentally, your idea went off track. It was offside and it found itself in this other world. And this is where the aspect of dualism comes in. On earth, the soul has been enslaved. It has been captured by your body. That is why you are sitting on those tables, chairs, trying to refine yourself and put yourself into the right. The soul is struggling to get back to its glory, to be released from this prison called the body, so that it can be the soul of its soul again. And that is why, at a certain point, Kodesh, you would see your father saying, at a certain special moment,